are doing my roasted garlic puff pastry flatbread, and Jen is getting her hands dirty with some roasted garlic. And roasting garlic is really easy, and it's quite addicting, especially if you like garlic like I do. I could literally just sit there and eat this whole bowl.
Oh, me too. My husband wouldn't appreciate it, but I can do it.
Yeah, so would I. And what you just simply do is you're going to cut the garlic to expose the cloves. So see how like all the cloves are exposed right there? And you're just going to put it on some tin foil and add some salt and pepper and a little bit of extra virgin olive oil or regular olive oil, and just drizzle it on just a little bit. You can just spread it even with your hand and foil it up. Place it on a baking sheet and then 400 degrees for 35 minutes, and then you get this nice buttery garlic. I mean, it's super easy.
It's kind of fun too.
It's a great stress reliever. It totally is. So then what you're going to do is you want to mash it, Jen.
Okay.
Mash it all up to kind of get it like butter. And you can have like still the cloves, because when we spread it on the puff pastry, I mean, that's cool.
Okay.
This is so good. Like I said before, I mean, I would totally eat this for dinner. Glass of wine, kids are in bed, watching a movie, Friday night, snowy night.
I need this.
Yeah.
I got to plan that.
And
those things don't happen unless you put them in your planner.
That's why you got to put them in your planner. Exactly. And what you do with the puff pastry, instead of just like throwing it out and putting it on your baking sheet, you're going to put it on the baking sheet. I like to use parchment paper so it easily peels off.
Okay.
You're going to spray another baking sheet with cooking spray, plop it on top. You like the terminology, plop. It's really like, yeah.
It works for me.
Plopping. We're going to plop it on top. And this kind of keeps it down to get that flat bread, so it's not like poof, puff, like puff pastry. We want to kind of get it thin. And this kind of holds it down. It'll still puff, so don't like freak out if it still puffs. But then when you're done, you want it at 400 degrees for about 15 minutes, maybe a little bit shorter, because we're going to then, it starts getting brown on the bottom. All right?
Okay.
So then what you're going to do is you're going to spread some of your garlic. You could use about 2 to 3 garlic cloves. If you get the smaller ones, you probably want to use like 3. If you get the big garlic, you probably maybe just 1 or 2. Just, it all depends on how much garlic you like, A, and B, how big the cloves are. So just kind of randomly spread it there. So easy. And this is so good for, like I said, entertaining and having people over.
So put this on there?
Yep, exactly. And just kind of spread it around.
And what pastry do you buy?
I use just the Pepperidge Farm. Not that I'm endorsing anybody, because nobody's asked me to. But Pepperidge Farm is usually, I mean, if I found maybe a generic brand, I would totally go with them too. Puff pastry is puff pastry, I think. So whatever brand. You just kind of spread it evenly, you know, around. This is like garlic lovers rejoice. Now, what I like to do too is to do a balsamic reduction, which I actually will make and just serve on the side. I won't drizzle it on when I serve it, but you can. And what that does is you're going to take about 1/4 cup of balsamic vinegar and a nice little sprig, not this big, but a little bit of rosemary, and you're just going to roast it, I'm talking about garlic, so I'm thinking of roasting. You're going to put it on the stove, and you're just going to bring it to a boil till it kind of reduces to about 2 tablespoons. It kind of gets nice and thick and syrupy, and you drizzle it on, and you get that balsamic with the infused with the rosemary. I mean, it's like classy meal, which took like no time to do. So once you get that spread around a little bit, and you see how it like pops out, get the little leaves out of there. There we go. Now what we're going to do is you're going to sprinkle some cheese, about 1 cup. So go for it, Jen.
Okay.
I'm watching and drinking tea. I'm not cooking today.
I only learn when I do it. When I'm actually physically doing it.
About 1 cup or so, because we also have gorgonzola. Now it's so funny because I'm not like a big blue cheese lover or gorgonzola fan, but I'm telling you, it works so well. It really does. I mean, I think I probably like gorgonzola cheese more than I allow myself to think. I think I don't like it, but I probably really do. So that's awesome. So then because we want to layer it with some of this, and this just, I mean, this is not as much, and it just gives it that nice little creamy. It really is good. I think I like gorgonzola better than blue cheese. However,
I do too.
Yeah,
definitely.
I'm not a big blue cheese, but just a little bit of this, and then my favorite part is we're going to take some fresh herbs, and I have some thyme, fresh rosemary, and from the garden.
I wish I had one of those gardens.
which were brought to Jen's. And we're gonna, and isn't it
Feel free to bring
pretty?
some anytime.
Well, I'm so happy it's still growing nicely outside considering we have snow.
That's awesome.
Rosemary, I guess, is a little bit hardier. Doesn't it look pretty just like that?
It does.
You can even add some baby Bella mushrooms. You could saute these in some red wine until they get nice and tender and add that on top if you like mushrooms. I don't usually do that when I'm entertaining because some people are like totally freaked out about mushrooms. But you know, you could do that if you're doing it, or even just serve them on the side with the balsamic so people could add. And then you're just gonna, you could cut it up. But what obviously we have to do first, we're gonna pop this back in your lovely oven for about just 10 minutes, just until the cheese gets nice and done. And then bon appetit. And you can drizzle the balsamic on. Yeah, I mean, super, super easy.
I could even do this. That's why I love your recipes.
I mean, it's so easy.
It's for somebody like me that, you know, is busy and doesn't love to cook, but likes to eat and likes to entertain.
Right.
This is like the way to go. All your recipes are so easy. Anybody can do it, and that's what I love about this.
And what's so great about puff pastry too is that's such a quintessential holiday item, puff pastry. But this is another kind of way to use puff pastry in your recipe collection without doing your wrapping it with the brie or the other things that you commonly see with puff pastry. So this is done. When this is done, we can take a bite and tell y'all how it is. But I already know because I tried it. It's like super, super good. So we'll be back with a little taste test. So the roasted garlic puff pastry flatbread cooked for about another 10 minutes. And doesn't it smell really good?
It smells divine.
So now we can cut it up into little pieces, you know, and then serve it on a holiday tray. Obviously we're not glitzy, glamorous right now, but what I would typically do is I would put it on a nice little tray, sneak a piece for myself. But you see how nice and flat it got? So this is puff pastry, but it's not very puffed at all. So bon appetit.
Awesome.
It does, doesn't it? So try a piece. I'll try a piece if you try a piece.
Can't wait.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, the inners are always the best because you get pure yumminess on all of it. Yeah.
Delish.
With the herbs too.
It tastes like a restaurant.
Doesn't it? It tastes like something you would get like a, you know, an appetizer.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So this is my easy holiday recipe that we go for, that I love to make. And thank you so much for watching our episode of Pantry Crashers. I hope you have a very happy holiday, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and we will be back in 2014 with another video and with some more tips coming up.